There is something big happening quietly inside the Treasury. It hasn't been officially announced yet, but it could become one of the most consequential decisions this government makes. According to reports, Rachel Reeves has sent information to the Office for Budget Responsibility suggesting she is preparing to raise the basic rate of income tax. If confirmed, this would be the first time in 50 years the Chancellor has raised the basic rate, and it would come at the cost of breaking one of Labour's most direct manifesto commitments, not to raise taxes on working people. According to reports from The Times, Rachel Reeves has told Budget Watchdog that she plans to increase income tax as she seeks to repair the public finances. The Chancellor has informed the Office for Budget Responsibility that rise in personal taxation is one of the major measures on tax and spending that she is prepared to announce later this month. This is the stage where a political idea starts turning into an actual government plan. Now that it has been sent to the OBR, they will run the numbers, test different scenarios, and calculate what it would mean for the economy in the long term. The key point is this: the moment income tax appears in the official submission, it is no longer just a rumour. It means the government is actively preparing for the possibility of raising it. The article continues: while Reeves could still pull back from the planned tax rise, its inclusion in the government's official submission to the OBR is the clearest signal yet that the Chancellor is preparing to break Labour's manifesto pledges not to increase income tax rates. This is where the political stakes rise sharply. Labour did not make vague or ambiguous statements during the campaign. It said directly and plainly that it would not raise income tax. The language was firm because it needed to be. Labour needed the public to believe the party could be trusted with the economy. This is why the potential reversal is so significant. It tests the foundation on which the public was asked to place confidence. But the Treasury's position is that circumstances have shifted. Reeves is attempting to fill a hole in the public finances of as much as £30 billion after a significant downgrade in productivity forecasts by the OBR. A productivity downgrade weakens the state's ability to generate growth-driven tax revenue. In simple terms, if the economy is expected to grow less than previously forecasted, the government is expected to collect less money through natural economic activities: wages, spending, corporate profits, and investment returns. For years, the Office for Budget Responsibility has been criticised for consistently overestimating the UK's long-term productivity growth. Their models have repeatedly assumed that the British economy would bounce back stronger and faster than it actually has. As one economic analyst put it, the OBR's forecasts of Britain's future productivity growth has long been higher than those of the most private sector economists and the Bank of England. This is not just a minor detail or an academic footnote. It has real consequences. When forecasts are too optimistic, governments make spending and tax policies based on numbers that do not materialise. The gap that appears afterwards is what economists call a fiscal hole, and that hole must eventually be filled. And the OBR itself has now acknowledged that this has been a reoccurring issue. Back in July, the OBR publicly admitted that it had been too positive in its previous projections. In July, the OBR said it had been too optimistic in its past growth forecasts, increasing expectations among economists that there would be a downgrade later in the year. When growth slows, governments face a choice: cut spending, borrow more, or raise taxes. Reeves appears to be preparing to choose the third option, but in a way that reshapes the narrative of who is expected to contribute. The Chancellor is considering a 2p rise in income tax and a 2p cut in national insurance in an attempt to shift the burden of tax rises away from workers onto other groups, such as pensioners and landlords. Economists believe the move could raise more than £6 billion a year. This repositioning is strategic. It allows the government to say that it is not raising taxes on working people as a category, but is adjusting the structure of contributions across demographic lines. Furthermore, Reeves is said to be determined that the wealthiest should face the biggest tax rises. She is considering limiting the national insurance cut to earnings below £50,270, ensuring that those with the broadest shoulders bear the biggest burden. For decades, politicians have used the phrase, "those with the broadest shoulders should bear the greatest burden." It's a way of saying that people who earn more should contribute more. But it's important to acknowledge that those with the broadest shoulders already carry the greatest share of the tax system. As the Institute for Fiscal Studies notes, income taxes have risen at the top, but been cut for most. The share of income tax paid by the top 10% of income taxpayers has risen from 54% in 2010 to 2011 to 60% in 2023 to 2024. And the top 1% alone are responsible for around 30% of all income tax paid. So to imply that higher earners are not already bearing the largest burden is frankly disingenuous. But raising the basic rate of income tax is something entirely different. It affects millions of ordinary workers, not just higher earners. And that is what makes this moment seismic. If Rachel Reeves goes ahead, she will be the first Chancellor in 50 years to raise the basic rate of income tax. Not since the 1970s has any government dared to do this. For half a century, there has been a shared understanding across parties. Raising income tax is politically toxic. You don't touch it. Reeves addressed this tension directly, stating that she would put national interest before political expediency, adding, "We will all have to contribute and do our bit." The political reaction from within Labour has already begun. Deputy Leader Lucy Powell stated, "It is really important we stand by the promises we were elected on, and we do what we said we would do." Trust in politics is a key part of that. If we're to take the country with us, then they've got to trust us. We should be following through on our manifesto. Of course, there's no question about that. Meanwhile, the Bank of England has warned that speculation surrounding tax rises has begun to affect behaviour. Businesses are slowing investment. Households are delaying spending. The housing market is cooling. The bank noted that current uncertainty is rivaling levels seen during the aftermath of the mini-budget crisis. This is the broader consequence of fiscal expectation. Sometimes the rumour of a decision has effects before the decision itself. But it is not only the substance of the upcoming budget that is significant. It is the shape, the timing, and the atmosphere surrounding it. This budget has been highly unusual for several reasons. First, the date. Traditionally, Chancellors choose budget dates that minimise uncertainty. The longer markets, businesses, and households are all left waiting, the more room there is for speculation. Rachel Reeves has chosen a relatively late date, and that decision has created a wide window in which rumours, expectation, and political messaging have collided. Budgets always generate speculation, but this one has generated an extraordinary amount. For weeks, there have been circulating discussions about a possible mansion tax, a possible exit tax on wealth leaving the country, changes to stamp duty, adjustments to capital gains rules, a reform on pension tax relief, a review of ISA allowances, and now the possibility of raising the basic rate of income tax. And that's not even the full list. There are so many rumours circulating that no one, not investors, not businesses, not households, knows where the impact will land. The speculation is broad, it's constant, and it's affecting behaviour. This is not normal. Most budgets have one or two major rumours in play. This one has dozens. And the reason is simple. The scale of the fiscal challenge is large, real, and unavoidable, and the public knows it. But speculation does not exist in a vacuum. It has consequences, as the Bank of England has now made clear. The expectations of tax rises have already begun to change behaviour in the real economy. The Times reported the bank's assessment directly. Reeves' plans came to light as the Bank of England warned that fears over rising taxes in the budget were harming economic growth. The bank's Monetary Policy Committee, MPC, said on Thursday that consumer spending and business investment has fallen in recent weeks as speculation about the Chancellor's plans for taxes grew. It added that businesses were now experiencing very high levels of uncertainty that were greater than at any time since Liz Truss's mini-budget. Contracts report that weak demand and elevated uncertainty ahead of the autumn budget may be causing firms to delay investment. The bank said the proportion of businesses saying that the overall level of uncertainty is high or very high has been around its highest level since the end of 2022. The broadcaster ITV warned on Thursday of a sharp drop in advertisement revenue in the final quarter of the year as companies rein in spending ahead of the budget. A survey published by the bank found that the housing market was frozen and consumers' confidence was downbeat, leading to sluggish spending. This aligns with a well-established economic pattern. When households believe taxes will rise soon, they do something predictable. They hold on to their money. They defer large purchases. They reduce discretionary spending. They pause major life decisions, moving house, buying a car, renovating, or taking on new financial commitments. When businesses believe taxes may rise, especially those affecting investment, capital gains, property, or employment, they respond even more sharply. They delay hiring, they pause capital investment, they postpone expansion decisions because uncertainty is more dangerous than cost. In simple terms, rumours of tax rises result in people and firms spending less. If spending slows, economic growth weakens. And that is already happening. The housing market has begun to cool. Business investment is being paused. Hiring cycles are slowing, not after the announcement, but ahead of it. This is the broader consequence of delayed fiscal clarity. The economy is being affected not by the tax rises themselves, but by the expectations of them. This is what makes this budget uniquely sensitive. The government is not only managing the public finances, it is managing confidence, trust, and economic behaviour in real time. The announcement hasn't even come yet, and the economy is already slowing in anticipation of it. The stakes could not be higher.